Hey, good news, America. Liberals have decided to stop being so smug and condescending. Well, actually, not really, but one of them wants to. I'm Steve Green. This is Ryan Angle. You know Bill Whittle and Scott. Guys, I saw this. I saw this column in Salon. I have to read Salon. It's part of my other job over at Instapundit by Connor Lynch, who says the whole smug routine, the telling voters they're stupid. In fact, these are some of the words he uses. Telling voters that they're dumb, credulous, often intolerant. So why should we, progressive, rational, forward-thinking liberals, sympathize or try to reason with them? And the whole point of this was, no, but he was making fun of his fellow liberals for taking on this stance that really cost them the election. So, Scott, let me put it to you. Can the left stop being so intolerant towards these deplorables?
I hate to say this, but I think when you launch your campaign against liberal smugness in Salon,
but no, that's where you have to start it. That's where you have to start.
I think that's all you need to know about that. Yeah, and I guess you're right. You've got to go, if you're going to want to catch bass, you got to go to where the bass are. And in that case, you're right. The smug liberals are entertaining themselves that they are among the majority in those places, or bewailing the fact that not everybody is as smart as they are. And how can we get to that point? You would think after 50, 60, 70 years of really strong emphasis on public education and a complete takeover of academia at the university level, you would think that we would have a country that was dominated by nothing but the left. I mean, they've won everything. You've taken everything over. You got Hollywood, you got the news, you got academia, you got public school, you got preschool, you got everything, and still half the country or more votes against your values and your ideas.
Well, yeah, I was about to say, you say they've got everything, but Bill, the right now, or at least the Republicans, have the White House, both houses of Congress, and as soon as they get Neil Gorsuch on the Supreme Court, they're going to have the Supreme Court back. So are the liberals really that smarter? That much smarter. See, I am the idiot.
Modern liberalism, you can't get the smug out of modern liberalism, because if you take the smug out, then it's not a liberal anymore, at least in the present day. The entire political philosophy of modern leftism is this sense of smug superiority over the people in the middle of the country. We're smarter people and we're better people than those idiots out there in Nebraska. And they're not. They're not smarter and they're not better. They're certainly not better and they're certainly not smarter. But this is what modern liberalism is. It's a constant echo chamber of me telling you that you're very smart because we agree on the same things, and the same for you back and forth. I can debate these people. I can demolish them in 20 seconds because they don't think about things, Steve. All they do is sneer at people in an attempt to make themselves feel better about themselves. They have no humility. You can't get rid of smugness until you have some humility.
But Bill, the reality is you can't defeat them. What you can do is allow them to beclown themselves in front of people who already agree with you. You're not really defeating them in the eyes of the people who agree with them already. I mean, I think isn't that the challenge for us? Is to how do we actually make these people look silly in the eyes of people who've been supporting them all these years?
Well, we don't have to make them look silly. Yeah, well, there you go. You don't have to make them look silly. Just watch the political correctness black hole of grievance just get bigger and bigger and bigger, and watch how hoop earrings. No, you can't wear hoop earrings now because that's cultural appropriation. Just watch it destroy itself. Darn. It's hilarious for them to say we're rational, forward-thinking people. There's nothing rational about them at all, and that's the problem, Scott. That's the problem, Steve. The problem is that their worldview is not rational, and so they have to constantly create an ever-growing system of lies and deceits and double think and cognitive dissonance to square what they believe with what's actually going on out in the real world.
So you're saying maybe there's nothing quite so smug as a failed Amy Schumer Netflix comedy special?
Precisely correct. Precisely correct. And when Amy Schumer's comedy special fails, it won't be because it wasn't funny, because it wasn't. It will be because those stupid, racist, homophobic, misogynist savages out there, didn't tune into my show that makes fun of them all the time. Hillary Clinton did the same thing, right? I lost because of this, or I lost because of that. I lost because of this. It was the Russians. It was fake news. It was all this other stuff. No, Hillary, you lost because people don't like you and because you have terrible ideas. And liberals can't accept that, Steve. They can't accept that they're not smart, and they can't accept that they're not moral. It has to be some of the reason.
Steve, is there anybody out there who's doing this? Is there anybody on the left who is effectively connecting with people without being smug and looking down their nose? Can you think of anyone?
Well, Scott, if you ask them, they're going to tell you that's a really stupid question.
Yeah.
Forgive me.
It's the kind of thing.
Well,
it's the kind of thing we'd expect from a
this guy in
conservative.
Solani's at least making a start of it. And Scott, I put it to you: if the left were able to overcome its smugness, its sense of superiority, number one, wouldn't it be better for the political debate in this country? And we're always going to have a political debate. And number two, would that mean they stop being progressives?
No, I don't think so. I think you can hold on to your progressivism but it's the same thing about conservatism in a way. It's like sometimes I think we come across as, I'm so much better than you. My principles are better than you. I'm holier than thou. And I think I think that
they are better.
I think that undercuts you.
They
Here's the
conform
example.
to reality.
I just thought of the example.
From the right, when it comes to policy, our position, whether you're conservative or kind of right-leaning libertarian like I am, your policy position is, I don't know what's best for you. So the smugness.
That's right. And I don't want to be in charge of that. But here's the only example I could think of. You actually did an episode, or one of us did an episode about this last week. Folks can look at the archives of this. Go look at the SNL dog episode, because there was an example of a leftist show with leftist actors and leftist screenwriters somehow writing something that wasn't looking down their nose at the right or at people who had supported Donald Trump. And it was hilarious.
It really was.
And there was one of them. It was a cosmic ray strike. It was.
That's right.
You can't build a future on that.
No, you probably can't. Listen, folks, we got to wrap this up. Bill's got a thing he's got to get to in like 4 minutes or something. So
another thing.
I'm gonna crack the whip and cut this one a little shorter than our others have been. But listen, I don't think the left can stop this until they've really had their noses just smashed into their own stuff. Last November, whatever you think of Trump, was a great start on that, simply because there's no denying the horror of what's going on for them in Washington, D.C. right now. And the fact that Neil Gorsuch is going to be the next Supreme Court nominee is going to drive that in further. But what's going to happen is sometime in the next couple of years from now, Ruth Bader Ginsburg's seat is going to be vacated, and then the real battle is going to begin, and they're going to lose that too. And maybe, just maybe, that'll be the start of the process of these folks falling off their ivory tower and coming back to earth. Anyway, we can hope. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. And Bill, get on out of here. All right?